China's export controls on three metals important across the defense and chip sectors are keeping shipments at historically low levels despite high prices worldwide as Beijing flexes its control over the minerals supply chain. China is the world's largest producer of antimony, germanium and gallium, which have niche but vital roles in clean energy, chip making and defense. Since 2023, Beijing has gradually added the metals to its export controls list. In December it banned exports to the US. The US relies heavily on China for rare earth elements, REEs, with over 50% of its critical minerals sourced from there. China's restrictions threaten US defense, F-35 jets, missiles, tech, smartphones, AI chips, and healthcare, MRI machines, cancer treatments. Analysts warn of shortages, price hikes, and delays, with some companies facing permanent supply cuts. Rare earth elements, REEs, a group of 17 chemically similar elements including scandium, yttrium, and the 15 lanthanides, are critical to modern technology. Often dubbed the vitamins of modern industry, REEs are indispensable, from smartphones and electric vehicle batteries to advanced military systems and renewable energy infrastructure. However, their supply chain is heavily concentrated, with China dominating global production and processing. This dominance has transformed rare earths into a potent geopolitical tool, particularly in trade wars, most notably between the United States and China. Rare earth elements comprise a group of 17 chemically similar metals, the 15 lanthanides, scandium, and yttrium. Despite their name, these elements are relatively abundant in the Earth's crust but are rarely found in concentrated forms that are economically viable to mine. The unique magnetic, luminescent, and electrochemical properties make them indispensable to various high-tech applications. Neodymium is essential for high-performance magnets in electric motors, drones, and wind turbines. Europium and terbium are used in fluorescent and LED lighting. Lanthanum is used in camera lenses and hybrid vehicle batteries. Yttrium finds applications in radar and superconductors. Gadolinium and terbium are critical for military sensors, sonar systems, and advanced imaging technologies. Cerium and lanthanum are used in catalysts for refining petroleum. The global demand for rare earth elements, REEs, has surged with the rise of green technologies and digital economies. The International Energy Agency projects that demand for specific REEs, like neodymium, could increase tenfold by 2040 to meet net zero emissions goals. As of 2022, the global rare earth market was valued at approximately $3.9 billion and is expected to reach $9.6 billion by 2030, growing at a compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of over 10% annually due to rising demand from the clean energy and defense sectors. China's strategic approach to rare earths began in the 1980s. Offering low prices and absorbing environmental costs drove many competitors out of the market, especially in the US, Australia, and India. In 1992, Deng Xiaoping famously stated, "The Middle East has oil. China has rare earths." This foresight has translated into geopolitical leverage. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, in 2022, China accounted for approximately 70% of global rare earth mining, over 90% of refining and processing, and 90% of rare earth permanent magnet manufacturing, International Energy Agency, 2021. This concentration gives China significant leverage in international trade disputes. The US-China trade war, which escalated in 2018 under the Trump administration, saw tariffs, export controls, and technological decoupling dominate bilateral relations. Rare earths quickly emerged as a flashpoint. In 2010, China briefly restricted rare earth exports to Japan during a territorial dispute, causing global prices to spike and exposing the risks of supply chain dependence. This incident foreshadowed China's willingness to use rare earth elements, REEs, as a bargaining chip. In 2019, amid escalating trade tensions, Chinese state media hinted at curbing rare earth exports to the United States. President Xi Jinping's visit to a rare earth processing facility in Jiangxi province was widely interpreted as signaling China's readiness to leverage its dominance. The US, heavily reliant on Chinese REEs for commercial and military applications, faced a stark vulnerability. For example, the F-35 fighter jet program depends on rare earth magnets, and any disruption could halt production. China's control extends beyond raw materials to the processing and manufacturing of rebased components. Even if other countries mine rare earths, they often send them to China for refining due to its advanced infrastructure and lower costs. This creates a choke point that China can exploit during trade disputes. In 2023, China introduced export controls on certain rare earth technologies, further tightening its grip and prompting concerns about supply chain security. On April 4, 2025, China imposed new export restrictions on 7 critical medium and heavy rare earth elements. The weaponization of rare earths has far-reaching consequences. For importing nations, supply disruptions can cripple industries, inflate costs, and delay technological advancements. In 2010, Japan's automotive and electronics sectors faced production delays due to China's export restrictions. Similarly, a sustained cutoff to the US could disrupt everything from consumer electronics to defense manufacturing. For China, rare earths are a double-edged sword. While they provide leverage, overusing this tool risks alienating trading partners and accelerating efforts to diversify supply chains. China's domestic demand for RES is also rising, particularly for its electric vehicle and renewable energy sectors, which could limit its ability to restrict exports without harming its economy. Globally, the rare earth trade war underscores the fragility of critical mineral supply chains. Australia, Canada, and the European Union have recognized the need for resilience, but building alternative supply chains requires significant investment and time. Environmental regulations and high capital costs further complicate efforts to scale up mining and processing outside China.